day. We're together and now we're here to say, united we will be the change.
Hello and welcome to Above and Beyond, Bridging the Gap to Accessibility and Inclusion. I'm your host, Celeste Licorice, and on today's show we're going to be talking about sports. And we have two guests who have been really instrumental in helping sports be inclusive in Hamilton. And they're going to tell us all about a couple of associations that have been doing really great work in that area. So I'd like to introduce you to Denise MacArthur and Mike Moore. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks
for having us.
Yeah, so Denise, tell us your title. It's long and complicated. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
I'm a therapeutic recreationist at the Children's Developmental Rehabilitation Program of Hamilton Health Sciences, and we're located at the Ron Joyce Children's Health Center.
And that's a relatively new center, as I understand.
The center's new, yes. It's been almost 3 years now since we've been there.
Yeah.
Prior, we were up at the old Shadok site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you've been there for a while.
28 years.
And what does your title entail? What is your day-to-day job like?
Mostly my role is to get kids involved in community recreation programs. So to meet with families, talk about what's available in the community, but then also to explore the community and take a look at where the gaps are and to try to help fill those gaps, which was how Hamilton Challenger Baseball came to be.
Yeah, we should probably move right into that. So tell us, what is Hamilton Challenger Baseball and how did it get started?
Hamilton Challenger Baseball is a baseball organization specifically for individuals with some type of special need, whether that's physical, cognitive, emotional. We have kids that play who just have learning disabilities, right up to kids who play, or adults who play, who require hand-over-hand to play.
So I was just going to ask you, what's the age range of people who are involved?
There really is a lower age range. It's supposed to be 5. I sometimes sneak kids in at 4.
Yeah.
But we have individuals who play right up into their 70s.
Wow.
So it's really as long as they feel comfortable playing.
Yeah, yeah. So Mike, I want to ask you a little bit about your involvement with Hamilton Baseball.
So my son Andy was born premature and as a result has cerebral palsy, and got involved. He was in Denise's program then at Shadok Hospital, and Denise encouraged us to get Andy involved in the program when it was starting.
So your parent family came into the center, heard about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he and Andy loved. We used to play like throw baseballs, and he loved baseball and got involved and loved it. And then the organization needed leaders and board members. So, and I resisted at first. I do other volunteering, but I think you said 2 or 3 years after it started, I jumped in and got involved and and I just loved it. The people, the really good people, loved the program and stayed with it.
So how long have you been involved?
So since it's 28, so about 25 years, and if I jumped in 3 years after it started, it's
Nice.
this is its 28th year, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And I want to go back a little bit to the history of how it got started. Like, why did it come to be? How did it come to be?
Oh, it started because I was getting a lot of phone calls from families whose children were trying to integrate into mainstream baseball, and they were struggling. For some, integration worked, and for others, it was a struggle. So for whatever reason, they felt that they just didn't quite fit in. So we held a public meeting to see whether or not it was a need. That was Fred Lucibello from the City of Hamilton and myself. And the room was kind of split 50-50. Some were saying, yes, it's a great idea, we really definitely need it, and others were saying, no, we really want our kids integrated into mainstream.
Right.
So after that meeting, Fred and I kind of sat down and said, okay, so now what do we do?
Yeah.
We decided to give it a try and see how it went. We had 25 players the first year in a very small baseball park. It had 1 diamond and no bathrooms.
Wow. And how was it supported? Was it through Shadok, through the hospital and the City of Hamilton?
Yes,
was it a
it
joint
was a
venture?
partnership between the Children's Developmental Rehabilitation Program and the City of Hamilton Recreation Department.
Nice.
And then after that first year, we decided that the potential for growth was too big, that Fred and I just couldn't manage to do that.
Right.
So we thought if we created a parent association, a parent-driven board, that they would be able to run with the program and grow the program better than Fred and I could.
Wow.
So Fred, I think, stayed involved for about 4 years.
Yeah,
and then I've been involved ever since,
Wow.
just as an advisor now, not in the day-to-day operation.
So what's the trajectory been like in terms of families being involved, the growth of the program, the numbers of teams, the involvement beyond Hamilton?
Well, we started with 2 teams and 25 players, and we've grown to close to 200.
197 this year.
197 players this year, and 12 teams?
13.
13 teams.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's an awesome organization.
Yeah. So it's gone from just two organizations saying here's a gap, here's a need, to a standalone that gets its own funding, has its own board, and has been going strong for 28 years. That's really amazing. And all of that sort of off the side of your desk from your
Yes.
regular job. That's incredible. It speaks to, Hamilton has a long history of volunteers who are committed and really want to see things happen for people. And you're a shining example of that. And so now you've been involved since, well, you said for the past 24 years.
Yeah.
What are some of the changes that you have seen in the organization?
Well, lots of changes. When Challenger Baseball started, as Denise mentioned, it was in a small diamond, and as it grew, more players, more teams, and we needed more diamonds.
Yeah.
So we were transient, looking for, and baseball was much more popular then, and
Yeah.
trying to find diamonds was difficult. But there's some good groups around, good people, and made space for us.
Yeah.
It was a little difficult. In the sense that we would have games on different nights, different weeks, different locations, and so for our league, that and the parents and the the players, they stuck it out and stayed with it.
So they would go where the games
Right.
were. They
Yeah.
weren't.
And sometimes you get a player at the wrong park, but overall it worked. And I don't remember the timeline, but we became incorporated late in the 90s,
Yeah.
and incorporated not for profit. And then I think around 2003 or 4, we applied for charity status and became a charity because we were growing all along. And then while all that was happening, some of the players were growing up, and they
Yeah.
wanted to stay in the game, so
Yeah.
we started an adult division. And
So rather than aging out of the program, it's like,
yeah,
we'll
we
just keep it going.
We just grew, yeah.
Yeah.
And then a little while later, some of the players, there became a gap in skill levels, and the main core of the program is recreational baseball, where anyone can play. Rules are adapted. Players can have buddies or assistants to
Yeah.
help them swing the bat, field the ball,
Right.
and some of these players are saying, we'd like to have like a higher level
Yeah.
game, higher skill level game. So we said, stick with us, and when we have enough players, we will do that, and we did.
Yeah.
And so it kept growing, and I don't know the number. I could find it for
Yeah.
you, but I don't know the numbers. But it just steadily grew. The challenges with that were funding and volunteers, but it just seemed like at the right time, the money came along and volunteers came along, and until 2007, and then Ince Park became available.
Okay.
And then we had a wonderful alderman, Scott Duvall, and his assistant, Monique, who
Yeah.
are now MP and MPP
Yeah.
for our mountain. And they were fabulous, and they fought real hard and got us Ince Park as our home, and it's become our permanent home.
Nice.
And we kept growing. We now have baseball 2 nights, Monday and Tuesday night a week.
Yeah.
Monday and Tuesday nights, each week from June to the end of August. We have 6 games on Monday night, junior, and we call it Tier 2, or it used to be called semi-competitive, and a
Okay.
competitive, which is like a 3-pitch, maybe like a senior's mixed slow pitch.
And that's on
skill
Tuesday
level.
nights?
Mondays.
On
still.
Monday nights.
Tuesday night is all senior recreational, 13 teams. It's massive.
Wow, that's huge. Hold that thought. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more.
Welcome to Ensemble.
I never had problems with alcohol, but when John lost his job and we had less money coming in, we started to fight. I started drinking, just to deal with the stress. without my realizing it, alcohol took over my life. My sister suggested I look for help. I never thought that going to Alcoholics Anonymous would help at all, but I decided to try a meeting. Finding the courage to go to that meeting was the best thing I've done. I got help from people who know what I've been through. These meetings changed my life, and they're still doing it. Now I know I can live without drinking, and more importantly, I have hope. Alcoholics Anonymous. If alcohol is causing problems in your life, look for us. You can find us in the phone book or on the web at aa.org.
And we're back with Mike and Denise, and we're talking about the Hamilton Challenger Baseball. Thank you. I could see the letters, but what are the words that are connected to them all? So before the break, we were talking about the games and how you have them on Monday and Tuesday nights, but wanted to talk a little bit about the events that you have for people during the year, because the season ends in September?
At the end of August.
At the end of August.
And then we have a huge banquet at Michelangelo's. There'll be over 400 there.
Wow.
And it's all kinds of energy. One of our old players, Chad Pilon, is our MC. Brings a whole new level of energy and excitement to the event. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
And players get trophies and photos and prizes, and it's a real good night. But we like to focus on the social side, and at the games, friendships, but also we have social programs. We'll have a Halloween party every year, a Christmas party. We had a really good or a fantastic summer fun day.
Yeah.
Families are all invited. It's not just the players.
It's the players and their families.
And with a barbecue, and
Yeah.
so we like to keep that a big part of our program. We also have a winter program. It starts in November, and it runs to the end of March. And
So
it's
it really
indoor
keeps
soccer
people
and
engaged
bocce.
through the whole year.
Sorry?
You are able to keep people engaged for
Right.
the entire
Yes.
year.
Yeah, and it's not nearly as many in the winter program, but it's newer, and we're hoping it'll grow.
Yeah.
It's held at Westmount Rec Center.
Okay. So do you keep in touch with people by phone, by email? Like, how do you keep?
No, mostly Facebook,
Yeah.
website, and Constant Contact we're using now for doing email blasts, and,
Yeah.
we find that works quite well.
Nice.
So.
Nice. And so one of the things that when you have an association like this that is making sports accessible, it really speaks to social inclusion. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the importance of that, just from the therapeutic standpoint, what it means.
Sure. A lot of individuals with disabilities are socially isolated. So they don't have the same opportunities as their able-bodied counterparts to go out and make friends and go see their friends. Transportation is always a big barrier. They can't just go out and meet friends at other programs or the mall or wherever, because they either have to take darts and they have to make those arrangements a week in advance, and it just doesn't work out as easily.
It's not, you can't do as much spontaneous planning as you might be able to
Exactly.
otherwise.
So a program like this really gives them an opportunity to keep in contact with the friends that they make over the summer, over the year, and make those friendships, create those bonds. A lot of the folks that play have each other's Facebook accounts, and they keep in contact with each other when they're not playing, so that they can build those social relationships and build that normalization that their able-bodied peers have.
Yeah, that's so important. The sense of belonging is really critical for everyone, so to be able to build that in. So I wonder if each of you, if you have stories of how you've seen people develop, sort of the friendships, the relationships, the growth that you've seen in people once they've joined.
One of the things probably that sticks out, or one of the nights that sticks for me, was we had a young girl who was struggling to learn how to walk. She had the ability, we felt she had the ability to walk, but she was too afraid to let go of someone's hand. So she would take steps if someone was holding her hands. She got so excited when she hit the ball off the tee that she literally ran from home plate to first base.
Wow.
And it was the first time any of us had ever seen her take any independent steps. Wow. So her mother was crying, I was crying, everybody was crying. And she didn't know why we were crying.
Because for her,
like,
she was like, I'm playing the game, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was a real special night. Special night for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. How about you? Do you have
One, there's a few. One for me that's happened many times is players that come out and I don't know if insecure is the right word, but not sure they can play, not sure they can hit a baseball. And we, at our recreational level, which is fun and inclusive, and assistance if they need help, we also provide a tee if they want to use a tee to hit the ball. And the coaches, we have fabulous coaches, and they get to know, watch the players and see them develop, and they do develop.
Yeah.
And they'll say to a player, I think you can hit a pitch. And no.
Because they've been used to hitting off the tee,
yeah.
and the coaches are seeing that maybe they can do it,
Yeah.
or they
And that's
probably
the comfort
can do
level.
it. Yeah.
And I've seen it so many times, they don't think they can. And well, let's try one. And we pitch a nice slow pitch
Yeah.
to them. And I've seen it, as I said so many times, when they get that first hit, the smile on their face is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. And then just this year, I had a fabulous story. Just this week, I was at the Junior Diamond at the end of the night, and the equipment people are taking the equipment away, and everybody's talking, as they always do. And a few of the players were saying, come on, let's go, home run derby. So on their own, these are young kids, like the juniors.
And they've already played, and
Yeah,
the
they
night's
set
wrapping
up a little game they play out on the field where they hit the ball out and they circle the bases. And this is just, they did that on their own, and it was impressive.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fabulous to see
awesome.
that. So yeah.
You also have to tell the pig pen story.
Oh, okay.
Let's hear the pig pen story.
So there's, I can't mention any names. But somebody affiliated with this program or
We
associated.
may be meeting in a future show.
Played, and it was pretty good in a wheelchair. Loved to play. I wanted to, I really wanted to get into it and do his best.
Yeah.
And his nickname was Pigpen. And the reason is when he was running the bases. How do you say that? Wheeling.
Running the bases. Yeah.
Yep.
If there was a close play at a base, and he didn't think he was going to make it, he'd many times dive out of his base, out of his chair, and was in the dirt, and he was always covered in dirt.
Covered in mud.
So, and one time in Cooperstown, I thought he broke his neck. He went down. He did a face plant into
So what's Cooperstown? I'm not familiar.
Oh, sorry, Cooperstown, Pennsylvania. Was where the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame is. We went down. We went down there one year. I don't remember the year.
97?
But it was like a road trip kind of thing?
And we camped, and we went to the Hall of Fame events, met a whole bunch of players, got signatures.
Oh my gosh, what an adventure.
Fabulous.
That sounds amazing.
And we got to play on the Cooperstown field,
Sweet.
the Doubleday field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where Pigpen
And
really
Pigpen
figured
went for
himself
broke
out.
on Cooperstown.
Yeah, he went for broke, and I thought he broke his neck, but he got up laughing, mouth full of dirt. It was great.
That's amazing.
And what you have to come and see it, but what I really like is you really see the friendships at the Diamonds, players talking. Families come and they're cheering, and even some of the families are, they develop bonds
They
with
would
each other
develop
as
bonds
well.
and friendships.
Yeah.
Such
And
an important thing.
And you can see that's a really good atmosphere around the games, and,
Yeah.
and you can just see the players, with
see
their
people-
buddies and having fun.
Yeah,
so.
you'll see people that come that are really shy at first and don't talk to anyone, and then by the end of the season,
They're right in
they're
there.
right in there, talking up a storm.
Well, we're
making
talking
as
up a
many
storm here.
friendships.
We're going to take one more break, but we'll be right back with more Above and Beyond after this message.
Governments and broadcasters have come together to bring more alerts to more Canadians faster. Introducing Alert Ready. When an alert is broadcast, it's time to act. Learn more at alertready.ca.
Want to be thought of as special, of having a purpose. We all want to be remembered. What will your legacy be to your family, to your friends, to your community? Have you shared your wishes with them? Have you included them in your will? The Niagara Golden Horseshoe Leave a Legacy program is a regional public awareness campaign that highlights the importance of including a charitable gift as part of your estate planning. This is the time to put a charitable contribution into your plans so others can benefit from your generosity and kindness. Creating a planned gift as part of your estate provides for the betterment of those in our local communities today and in the future. It's something everyone can do. Think of all those who will benefit. For more information on how to plan your legacy, visit us online at www.leave-a-legacy.on.ca. Help make a charitable gift a part of everyone's legacy.
And we're back with more Above and Beyond. We're going to switch gears now and talk a little bit about the Hamilton Accessible Sports Council. And so Mike and Denise are going to tell us all about how the council got started and what it does.
Okay, well, it's been around for roughly 6 or maybe 7 years.
I think so. Yeah.
It was created through an Ontario Trillium Foundation grant that the Parasport Ontario organization received to start accessible sport councils across the province. Okay. So they offered us a $2,000 grant to create an organization in Hamilton that would oversee or help support sporting programs or sporting bodies that work with individuals with disabilities in the Hamilton area.
And it made sense because of the Hamilton baseball group that already existed?
Mm-hmm. There's a number of sporting organizations in Hamilton that exist to run programs for individuals with disabilities. And so this just made sense. An organization that could help with volunteer training, with helping to fundraise, with running training events, helping to fundraise and create new opportunities within the city.
Nice. So you've been involved with the council?
Yes.
And what's your role?
I'm actually the chair of the council.
Nice. And have you been doing that? How long have you been the chair?
7 years.
7 years. 7 years and counting. And how about you, Mike? You're involved with the council as well?
So when the HASC started, I jumped on board as well, and but I help as the treasurer.
Okay.
And I just the reason I got involved was I see, we saw so much of the good from Challenger baseball, and my view is there's still a gap for people with disabilities, and there's still a whole lot of potential for growth.
So tell me a little bit about the gap. What's missing? What do we need to be working
just
on?
the programs. There's some programs, but I don't. There's Special Olympics has some competitive level programs, and they focus on people with developmental disabilities.
Right.
For people with physical disabilities, I don't know of a lot in Hamilton where there's a competitive level, and there's
so it's very recreational, but nothing if you want to take it to the next level.
And just really just not enough of them.
Yeah.
There should be more, and so I wanted to help. I saw how much this was Challenger baseball was a benefit.
Yeah.
And thought, I'd like to help and do a little more. So.
And you're right. It's truly a recreational world, I guess, in Hamilton for individuals with disability. There are a fair number of programs, but Mike is right as well in that there's nowhere near the number of opportunities for folks with disabilities than there are for their able-bodied counterparts.
So what do you think needs to happen in terms of helping those programs grow and develop? Is it a funding issue? Is it an awareness issue? Is it a combination?
It's both.
Yeah, it's both.
It truly is both. We received this year an Ontario Trillium Foundation grant to create an accessible track and field program in the city. So we've been all summer, every Sunday morning at Mohawk Sports Park.
Nice.
Starting this brand new program.
Yeah.
And out of it, we've seen a true need. There's nothing like that in the city. And the kids that have been coming and the young adults who've been coming have really blossomed, and you can see a huge change from when they started in May until they're finishing up next Sunday.
Next week. Do you have any other jurisdictions, either like locally, nationally, internationally, where they are sort of further ahead of the curve in terms of having a lot of recreational and competitive opportunities for people with disabilities?
Toronto is a huge, I guess, hub of sport for individuals with a disability. They have a lot of both recreational programs and competitive programs. I think partly because organizations like Parasport Ontario the Ontario Wheelchair Sports Association, CP Sports Association. They are all based in Toronto.
Oh, okay. So they have their head offices there and their
exactly, and
there.
they have Variety Village there. So they have the perfect place, really, a beautiful, accessible facility. While they say it's old, it's way better than any of the facilities that we have here in Hamilton in terms of accessibility, and a place or a common place where everybody can get together. And
so would it be
sports.
helpful to sort of have more integrated recreation centers, or to have a dedicated space? What would be?
We would like to see a dedicated space.
I think we need a dedicated space. You mentioned, or Denise mentioned integration, and there was a desire to have integrated sports. But I think one of the big barriers is having a place where people with similar abilities can come and just have fun and feel like they're just part of a group.
They're just part of what's going on.
And I think a separate facility that these athletes can be proud of, and they can go and feel like they're part of that group, and there's some ownership would be fabulous in Hamilton.
Yeah,
and especially when you get into the competitive stream,
right? Which is something that you aspire to. It can't just all be about recreation. We've only got about a minute left, and so in that time, I wonder if you could tell people how they can reach you, how they can get in touch if they want to get more information about either organization.
Well, Hamilton Accessible Sports Council has a website,
okay,
and we also have a Facebook page. Feel free to take a look at the information on the screen and get in contact. If you want to volunteer, if you want to help us raise money, if you want anything that you want to do to get involved, please give us a call.
Yeah, awesome.
And likewise for us, the easiest way to get in touch with us is our website. There's some information on there we're still developing, but there's a contact us page.
Nice.
If you go in there, you can send a message and we will respond very quickly.
Okay. Well, thank you both so much for being with us today. It's been a wealth of information, and best of luck on all the endeavors and keeping baseball and inclusive sport alive and well in Hamilton.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
No
thanks
problem.
for the opportunity, Celeste. Enjoyed it.
Thank you. And so as we wrap up today's show on sports, I'd like to leave you all with a quote of inspiration. And today's quote says, "A champion needs a motivation above and beyond winning." And that's from NBA executive Pat Riley. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time on Above and Beyond.
On your way, walk past strangers' faces every day. Share a smile, it's all you need. You'll be just fine, you'll be alright. Put your hand in mine, and as things change, we're growing strong. We'll rise above it all. Together with friends along the way, united with strength to face the day.